As Phyllis seeks Tucker's counsel, Diane plants evidence in Jeremy's bedroom. On today's episode of The Young and the Restless, Daniel asks his mother to get assistance, Kyle and Summer dispute about their mothers, and Sharon tells Chance to think about what he wants. Jack expresses concern to Diane at the Abbott mansion on the perilous situations she is putting herself in. This, she reassures him, will be over shortly. Jeremy will fall right into her trap today. According to Jack, this may be the final chapter, not the first. If his suggestion is accepted, she will tell him that they may return their focus to the task at hand after he has finished pitching it. While at Society, Phyllis approaches Stark and demands to know whether or not he is employing Diane in an effort to play Jack. He then informs her that he enjoys spending time with her and offers her a seat. They go over her call to him regarding Diane again. By the end of the day, he says he'll know for sure whose side Jenkins is on. She is perplexed by his seeming inactivity. She spends so much of her life thinking about Diane, and he finds it totally fascinating. Phyllis that she leave town immediately, and that she be made to pay for her misdeeds. Stark admires her drive to succeed. Diane has returned from Chicago, and she contacts Stark to let him know. They'd arranged to meet up. After he hangs up, Phyllis presses for further information, but he warns her not to probe too deeply. He walked away from me after saying, "I'm a better friend than an enemy." She claims Stark predicted a major event would take place today. Despite Daniel's pleading, his mother persists in her paranoia that an old enemy is plotting a new con. She says that if Diane hadn't come back and ruined their relationship, she and Jack would still be together and happy. The two were caught kissing recently, and now she wants her to leave truly, really gone. Since she has already warned Jack, Daniel advises that she back off. His mother is resolute in her pursuit of the final straw that will cause him to snap. Daniel is beginning to question whether or not he made the correct decision in inviting her to participate in his project. Away with all this bad vibes, please. He advises her to read some self-help books to learn how to control her wrath, because he only gets one shot at this. He then suggests that they can think later since he needs to go outside and get some fresh air. It's Tucker who suddenly appears. "What are you thinking about today, sunshine?" he asks Phyllis. Assuming her silence to be an indication of wisdom, he often ignores her. He gives her a proverb and then offers to leave, but she insists that he stay. When he finally takes a seat, she inquires whether or not she would be welcomed back to town if she repeated Diane's actions. She's friendly and charming, he tells her. Diane had managed to win over a group of people whom the author was sure would ignore her. Her son just suggested she try reading some motivational books for herself. Diane is able to dupe even the most astute guys, such as McCall. Both the next steps and the people to trust are beyond her comprehension. It appears that he is the only person who can perceive that everything is backwards. Tucker chuckles. Tucker advises Phyllis over Bloody Marys that the calmer she is, the more things will fall in her favor. The easiest option should be chosen by her. When asked what happened to the man who sought to destroy the world, she replied, "I have read more meaningful stuff in a fortune cookie." The other guy piques her curiosity more. Jack returns to the Abbott home and informs Diane that the first stage is over and that he must now fulfill his responsibilities. Both Kyle and Summer are seen arguing and avoiding one another. When Summer sees that Diane is still dressed in yesterday's clothes, she naturally wonders if Diane stayed the night. They're positive the guest room was her bed for the night. Still, Summer isn't convinced that she and Kyle belong in on any of their underhanded doings. Diane reassures them that it won't last forever. Even if they get hurt, Jack is confident they will be fine. Summer ignores her husband, who follows behind her and storms out the door. Diane feels terrible about the tension she's generating in her son's marriage. Once Stark is taken care of, everything will be fine, Jack tells her. "Let's beat him," she says. Kyle expresses his dissatisfaction with the morning's events at home to his wife at Jabut. It seems to her that things have gone too far. They are not allowed to take part in this. The fact that she ignores his mother's concerns upsets him. Summer has no intention of explaining why she isn't going to become involved in Diane's latest scandal. They're arguing about it. Despite the fact that his mother is eager to have him act as her criminal partner, she insists on her position. He is either blind or deceiving himself if he cannot see that. Daniel cuts in to ask if there was a bomb. Away they go. Daniel approaches his younger sister and asks if she'd want to fill him in on the situation. Specifically, she rants about Kyle's mother. Their father has an outburst against their mother. For their collaboration to succeed, he had to tell Phyllis that she has to dial back her fury a bit. As she spirals out of control, she fears they may have to take cover. She wishes she could help her mother, but now that she's an adult, all they can do is try to stay out of the way of her cyclone of emotions. Just as she says this, Kyle walks in. Daniel leaves and Kyle inquires if she was referring to his mother. Summer snarls that she can understand how he may be mistaken, even though she was referring to her own mother the whole time. Victor sends Kyle a text inviting him over to discuss their plan to frame Adam. The last thing he wants to deal with right now, he tells Summer. Diane visits Jeremy at his hotel, where she displays the jewels she took from Nikki's Chicago safe. His awe has piqued his curiosity, and he demands to know every nuance of her success. That breaking in was simple, she assures him. Stark said she surpassed his highest hopes. To put it simply, they have just reached the first thrilling stage of their new adventure. Put away the laundry. In Genoa City, the wealthy and powerful are easy targets for theft. When he recommends they rob Phyllis blind, Diane beams. On the other hand, she argues if her adversaries were being robbed, suspicion would naturally fall on her. She won't rob her own son, despite his suggestion of the Abbotts. Jeremy is eager to make amends and gives her the command to return. He reluctantly puts the necklace on her, but she eventually agrees. To have her remember him every time she looks at it. While running his fingers over Diane's hair, Jeremy recommends they kiss to solidify their newfound alliance. She circles back and plants a passionate kiss on his cheek. It was something she didn't realize how much she missed until it was gone. He then pulls off his tie and recommends they celebrate. She splutters, saying that she can't stand his cologne. As soon as he can, he dashes to the shower. She sets up traps while he's out of the room and leaves proof behind. While Sharon is making Chance's coffee at Crimson Lights, she inquires as to whether or not he has to any decisions about the matter he has been contemplating. Taking a seat, she compliments his police work. Yet he should trust his gut and act accordingly. He needs to take a deeper look at his situation if he is having second thoughts about his career path. They talk about his time in the military and how he appreciated having a defined professional path and mission. She doesn't get the impression that he is an extreme sports fanatic. Chance has admitted that one of the perks of working undercover is the ability to assume a false identity. Her curiosity is piqued by the possibility that he hasn't spent enough time doing what makes him happy. Chance deliberates about the matter. They talk about treatment while she buys him a croissant. He's not sure if this is the path that will lead to fulfillment. Though the cop isn't overjoyed with the prospect of returning to therapy, he recognizes the value of doing so if it would help him find closure. She recommends him take some time off work. While Chance is on the phone with the Chicago Police Department, Jack shows up. As soon as they are ready, Diane sends Jack a text message. He lets out a heavy sigh.